allow me to, expatiate. Genesis, the first book of the Christian Bible. All right. It's also the first book in the Jewish Torah. Now, it is basically the works of God and Moses and how, they became, quote unquote, children of Israel. Now, chapter 49 of Genesis, right, reads thus. Then Jacob called for his sons, gather around, so I can tell you what will happen to you in the days to come. See that line, ladies and gentlemen? That's where our conversation is. Gather around so that I can tell you what will happen to you in the days to come. You see, as Africans, we have a very strong moral compass towards our parents. We defer to them, right? We naturally defer to them. Every now and then, you find the exception to the norm. You find when someone says, they listen to your mama, and maybe it turns out well for him, maybe it doesn't. But by and large, we defer to our parents. So much so, right? I don't know of any other culture, but I know as Africans, and I've seen our cousins who are in the Caribbean and some of our Filipino cousins as well. When an elder is speaking, right, you keep quiet. You keep quiet. We defer to power, we defer to authority, but when an elder in particular, so it's not unusual to find governors, senators, when they are in the midst of an older person. Yes, they are the governor. Yes, they are the person responsible for that particular job, whatever. But when an elderly person is in their midst, you defer. You let that person speak. The person may not be as knowledgeable as you in that particular aspect, but we were taught. I don't know how well that teaching is going these days, but we were taught to defer to the elder ones. But what if that thing that your parents said about you doesn't sit well with you? What if it doesn't? My question this morning is, would you challenge your parents? Would you challenge your guardians, your uncles and your aunties over a view or vision for yourself? I've been told that there's a community in River State that they sometimes will look at a child. This child, the say this speaking too stubborn. They will say, this one, leave him. This speaking, they know they train this one. This one, nothing, we don't see him. Nothing good will come out from this child. And it got me thinking, what if that child that has been relegated to be the never do well? What if that child wakes up one morning? Or what if one day the child is listening to a message somewhere? Or what if he reads a pamphlet and then suddenly a fire starts to burn inside of his stomach and this child says, no, this thing they've told me that I will become, I will not do it. Gather around so I can tell you what will happen to you in the days to come. Some people have fought their parents. Some parents have disowned their children because the son says, I will be a mechanic. I will not be a lawyer. There are people, ladies and gentlemen, in this country who fell apart when their father said, look, I have told you, if you do not marry Hakim, if you do not marry Alhaji Sheu's son, you will no longer be my daughter. The man excommunicates that child. The man has said, I will tell you your future. You must marry. And before you come online now, as I open this phone line, say, no, it's those who don't have education. Ladies and gentlemen, I saw this with my own eyes in the university. I saw it in the university. I'm talking about educated children fighting their parents. Their parents say, you must marry this man, you must go to this school, you must do this job, you must say this way, you must do what I have told you to do. I am your father, I am your mother. I brought this, I don't even heard this line. Now me be your mama, now me bring you come this planet. I feel take you come out. They've said it. People fighting against their elders. So once again, would you challenge that vision that your parents have for you? It may be good. Yes, they want you to become the next senator representing your community because your father is a politician. But you say, no, you want to work in the hospital. You want to become a Catholic priest. My son, a priest? Never. I will stop paying your school fees.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeriainfo FM. Nigeriainfo, let's talk.
Hello, Port Harcourt, with Jude on 92.3 Nigeriainfo.
017-923-0002, 017-923-0003, at Nigeriainfo PH, at Nigeriainfo PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. Now, the numbers I just reeled out for calling us to talk to us. Once again, the numbers are 0817-923-0007, 0817-923-0003. 0003. All right. WhatsApp and Telegram, you'll find us with the number 0809 030 6416. 0809 030 6416. All right. Once again, please, when you call us, do well, turn down the volume of your radio set. Refrain from making derogatory or defamatory comments. If you didn't see or hear, please make no mention of it. And very importantly, keep your conversations civil. All right, so this one is for my IG. IG says, Drew, good morning. Sometimes when we listen to you guys on Nigeriainfo, I keep asking if you guys go into people's houses and literally bring out their problems to talk on air. This thing is the problem I'm having right now with my older siblings. They have been the ones controlling my life for years. Yes, they were born before me. Yes, they have the money. They've been taking care of me. But I want to do something else. They are just a decade older than me, yet they think my life must be according to what they wish. I would not want to be their baby keeper all the days of my life. I deserve to be as good looking as they are. I deserve to have a husband of my own. Why do they want to keep me in this space? IJ is asking. IJ, I don't know, but I understand that pain. Fine, you are older than your sibling. Yes, you've paid their school fees. You now want them to only manage your children. You don't want them to have their own children? Is that the destiny you want for your quote-unquote your own sister? Zion is on the line from Jerry. Zion, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning to you, Jude.
Welcome, please.
Thank you very much. It all narrows down to Genesis chapter 11. Identity. After the fall of the Tower of the Babel, it was recorded that groups that understand themselves start going one direction. Because of what? That language. The language did not just be a language, but the language also depicts their profession. Because we understood Ijo, now we know say nail, na turu. Now we from Ijo, now we understand say spoon, na Ngazi. You see this identity, it now narrows down to us. I want you to be a lawyer. Because in this family,
we are lawyers.
Your ancestors. Identity. We are builders, so we are very good in carpentry. We are very good in upstairs. We are good in sculpture. We want you to maintain that sculpture so that the world will know that our lineage, this is what we are good at. But let's tell ourselves the truth. That was the best.
Was it?
It was the best. We got professionals. Who gave birth to a professional?
Fair enough.
The professional is who would have suffered a lot of losses and gained a victory, and he learned from the failures. Is it not so? Today, collapse buildings. Who taught them how to build house before they start building? You waste people money because you have no lineage when it comes to building. My father had a building in the village back in Bayelsa State. I guess that building is from 1969. Sir, it is the best of architecture I have ever seen in the history of mankind. Sir, the foundations are exposed, but the building is still standing. Flood will ravage buildings. Some will have crack and collapse. That building is still standing. There will be heat everywhere. There is no heat in that house.
Interesting.
Sir, we have never carried out any renovation work in that property. What thoughts or what do you think happened there? Professionals handle it. Today houses, some not even they reach 5 years, they don't they crack. We don't they look for who go fix them. Until we go back to the hand over what our ancestors give to us. Yes, we know that most of these actions are not documented. We can't follow them through. Let's talk. See.
But let me ask you. See, I appreciate the narrative that yes, with following a certain image or identity, you are going to be a professional. You are specific in that skill set. But what if a son says, let me break away? If I'm not even mistaken, since this is an offshoot of a conversation from yesterday Sunday. If I'm not even mistaken, there are times when people will say, set yourself aside from these people. This is your family, but now your family they've been rearing yam. Now God says I should go and rear pepper. So why can't I challenge my father and say I don't want to do yam like you?
They now see you as a traitor.
This is why I'm asking. Which one? So if now Zion, right now, my son comes to me and say, Daddy, I don't want to do this thing I used to do. Should I make him feel bad or stop communicating with him?
Some hold that view that a traitor should be treated with all manner of disdain. The moment you stand up and say, I don't want to follow your full path, Papa, forget about your ancestors. This is millennial me. Your parents are angry. And they can even go the extreme when it comes to this major. Well, in most cases that they want the family to have the two profession or two specialization, what do? They send their son or their daughter to go and marry from Mr. Zion's family who is implanting cassava. Are you seeing the difference now? But today, our generation said, no, there's this common names, Mr. Jude and Sons Enterprise. You remember those names?
Yes, we saw.
Those names still today again. Are those names still there again? Now, what do you see? Mr. Jude Nigeria Limited, Mr. Jude Concept, Mr. Jude Integrated Services. Is that what we are known for? We are known for Sons and Sons Limited, which is a profession that will be handed over. My brother, our ancestors, our forebearers, they wanted us to maintain an identity after the event that occurred in Genesis chapter 11. But because of our greed of today, look at what it has cost us. Zion for both.
So wait, thank you very much, Zion. It's a very tricky conversation. I understand what is, but I can't help but wonder, if really people shouldn't have their own identities.
The show continues after this break on Nigeriainfo.
our goodbyes. You still have a chance to grab that 25,000 naira check for today. The very first one, Chike Chuku was our first winner on the raffle. Well, who knows, right? That your number could be next. OnePlay.ng is where you get to. For those of you who have smart device, very simple, very convenient, not much fuss, no fuss. All right, so get onto OnePlay.ng. All right, select hello, Port Harcourt, Nigeriainfo. All right, and then purchase your ticket, 500 naira for every entry, so you can get as many as you can. All right, so if you don't have a smart device, conversely, you can, alternative rather, you can just quickly just use your USSD star 347 star 880 star 6 hash. That is star 347 star 880 star 6 hash. Right? Do that. Follow the prompts. Yeah, bada bing, bada boom. But now, let's get back to our conversation, shall we? Should you, or how do you challenge the vision of your elders for you? 9.3, good morning, please.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Okechukwu.
Okechukwu, how are you?
I'm fine.
Go on, please.
I love your statement on the radio.
So tell us, what would you do? How should people do it?
I love your program.
Well, thank you, Okechukwu.
So, I'm calling from Igeta.
Okay.
Is that I want to, you will send me the code number. I'm interested on that draw.
Okay, Okechukwu, just keep listening. We'll call it again, all right? Just keep listening. Keep listening. We'll call it again, all right?
Okay.
All right, Okechukwu. All right, so there are draws coming up very shortly on World Play right here on Nigeriainfo. Okay, Okechukwu says he's very interested. Yeah. I'll read a comment before I go on the break. We have to get to the headline news. This one here says, Drew, good morning. Please, let us be very, very careful with how much power we give to our elders. Now, there's a reason why the young ones are meant to be the ones driving change under the guidance and supervision of older ones. But if you just simply rest and let your parents decide everything about your life, a lot of things will go wrong. Look up the word Pathfinder, Jude, and then share with the general public. This is from Michael. Michael, thank you very much. I'll look up the word Pathfinder, Michael, and I'll share with you. I know what Pathfinder means, all right? I don't think he's making a reference to the Nissan vehicle Pathfinder. No, that's not what he's making. But I'll read it for you after this break. Headline news coming up right here, 92.3 Nigeriainfo.
Headline news, Nigeriainfo on
92.
raffles are very engaging, right? Everybody wants a little bit of extra, something to feel good about. So yeah, that's what we try to do, giving you guys something to feel good about. So oneplay.ng is where you can get your link through to play on the raffle any day, every day, in fact. All right, but for us, oneplay.ng, select hello Port Harcourt, and then you're good to go. You can also use the code star 347 star 880 star 6 hash. Once again, star 347 star 880 star 6 hash. All right, so wish you the best, and may the odds always be in your favor. But now let's get back to the conversation. So how would you even challenge your elders, your parents, your guardians over a vision they have of you or for you? That's the question this morning. 08179230002, 08179230003, 08179230002, 08179230003. At Nigeriainfo PH is where you'll find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeriainfo PH. WhatsApp and Telegram available with the number 08090306416, 08090306416.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeriainfo FM. Nigeriainfo, let's talk.
With Jude on 92.3 Nigeriainfo.
All right, so straight up to WhatsApp, and there are a few comments that I need to, well, no, if you actually, there are lots of comments. All right, so let me try and get through as many as I can this morning before I get on to the one play draw and obviously back to the phone lines. Now, people think life starts on earth, but certain pronouncements are spoken from having a glimpse or download of the end. There's something I saw on Instagram about how the starter pack looks wildly different from what God says, meaning God will call you a name and your circumstance will look the exact opposite of that name for a long time. So Abraham, father of nations, but in real life childless with a barren wife until 190 etc. But what if the so-called starter pack is actually of no consequence to the outcome that was always meant to be? The reason that some people are surprised by their own success is because they take the wrong information to heart. Information from people with titles, parents, teachers, church, even society. When the Bible says to train up a child in the way that they should go, it means you, the so-called parent, are supposed to tap into the ordained end of a particular child and equip them to go down that road. It doesn't mean that you should impose your own desires or your own preferences on the child because of the way it will backfire on you. No cleric or elder will be able to beg us when we are ready. The person that the world knew as my husband's mother tried to groom him to become a Catholic priest for her own ego, not carrying what he wanted. So imagine her shock when he married me, and she was not even informed. But the elders from her father's house were carried along at every stage. So if you like, as a parent, behave anyhow. We won't even argue with you sometimes. We will just do what is right for us. Anonymous says. Hey, problem. Good morning, Mr. Jude. Thank you for this conversation. Personally, I have not grown enough wings to confront my parents. I am about rounding up my NYSC, and I know my next move might not be accepted, but I am scared to have this conversation. African parents have made confrontations and difficult conversation look disrespectful. This has made me run away from the slightest confrontation. Oh, my dear. Oh, now I feel very heavy. So, ladies and gentlemen, now you've listened to both comments, right? Particularly this last one. This person knows what you want to do. And I can understand as a parent, your best interest, I like to believe, is for your child. You want the child to go left. The child said, no, mommy, but it's like right is the best way to go. So how do you expect that child to reconcile what you want from what is pushing the child? Please, somebody needs to call me before we wrap up. We need to actually, have a good nail on this conversation. 08179230002, 08179230003, 08179230002, 08179230003.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeriainfo FM. Nigeriainfo, let's talk.
With Jude on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Jude, good morning. See, this is a very difficult scenario that you are dealing with. Sometimes rebellion is the only way for somebody to actually have success in their lives. We've seen scenarios where a child rebelled against a father or a mother's decision about their person's life. And in the end, the parents became very happy with them. Have you not heard of stories of children who decided to play football against their parents' wishes? It's not those same children now who are now taking care of those same parents in their old age. We need to learn how to listen to our children and offer them good advice. That's from Emeka. Ifeanyi is on the line from Rumigbo. Ifeanyi, good morning to you, please. Good morning, Ifeanyi. Thank you for calling.
I've not been a parent for long, but when they start growing, or when we have kids that they start growing, probably also start learning on the job. What I'm saying is, I feel as a parent, most especially in this generation, you might hold on to unchanging principles, but you have to adapt to changing times. What do I mean? 15 years ago, if you told your parents, 15, 20 years ago, if you told your parents after schooling as maybe probably a theater art or let's even say a computer science that you're going to be a YouTuber, it would sound crazy.
Yes.
What do you mean by YouTuber? In our generation, we've never had a YouTuber. Nobody ever made it being a YouTuber. What is being a YouTuber? But today, people are multimillionaires, influencers. They are touching lives just being solely YouTubers, not like they're doing any other thing. So it boils down to my point of holding the principles but adapting to changing times. For example, again, somebody like the famous Kaka. You know Kaka?
Yes, the footballer.
By Brazil.
Yes.
His father was a structural engineer. He was very wealthy. His father was wealthy. But he also went to school. He's also a full-blown graduate who happened to also play football. And he got lucky with football. Not like some other people got lucky with football as a result of circumstance. They had the talent, the parents were not there, and they were lucky. So what I'm bringing out of it as a parent is, what is the unchanging principle? You have to guide them in the way they should go. You have to give them education. If you can afford it, you have to teach them the right from wrong. And because of growing, they now make their decisions. You understand what I'm saying? Because if you don't give them, if you don't guide them right, if you don't hold on to that principle of, you have to go to school, you have to be a responsible somebody. You can be responsible while also playing football. You can be responsible while... There are so many things that people have made life out of without necessarily being in school or what their parents wanted them to do.
Yeah.
But what we should take home with this, hold on to changing principles, but adapt to changing times. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's probably the most brilliant line I've heard in a long time. Hold on to unchanging principles, but you adapt with the changing times. That's probably that's my takeaway this morning. No name to that youth corps person who just rounded up that youth corps member, youth corps program. But I hope you listen to that. I hope this helps you, as you're trying to talk to your parents about your own challenge. Justice is on the line from Ahoda. Justice, good morning to you, please.
Yeah, good morning, Jude.
Good morning.
Yes, with regards to your topic, everything boils down on luck. Most times, parents, mostly from this our part of the world, they don't really know how to harness and bring out the talents in their children. But one thing is very clear. If your father is, personally, I was supposed to be a lawyer.
Stay with us, Nigeria.
And we know too well, like people like Nicola Kuti, supposed to be a legal practitioner.
Yeah.
But he ended up becoming a musician. And today, Kuti's family invariably has been raised through his efforts. So this thing depends on and the enlightenment of the parents, the level of awareness from the parents. That's one thing I observe in it.
Yeah, very, very fine examples you gave, Justice from Ahoda. Yes, talking about fella Nicola Kuti. He was sent to the UK, I think it was to study medicine, not even law. He was meant to study medicine, and then he fell in love with music and said, you know what, man, this is where it was a big tussle with the family, but eventually they had to let him do what he said he needed to do. And here we are, decades later, celebrating the name Fela and Nicola Kuti. In fact, the Kuti family, they span the generation of musical icons. Almost every Kuti person finds they're either lawyers, doctors, musicians here. It's established, and everybody now remembers, Fela. But his brothers too were also, very influential in the space. Bello Ransom Kuti. I don't know if you remember that name. Bello Ransom Kuti as well. I think it was former Minister of Health, right? Yeah. If I'm not mistaken. In fact, growing up, I think that it was the only one I knew for a long time. Bello, Dr. Bello, yes, Dr. Bello Ransom Kuti. My memory is not that bad, right? Please, if it is, please correct me. Please correct me. Yeah, but if I and Justice raise fantastic points this morning. All right, let's wrap up. Let me get to read some comments and then get on to our one play draw. Thank you once again, Jude. Always enlightening listening. My question is, when we have parents who refuse to see or even listen to the dreams of their own children, what do we do? I think that's what, nobody has actually hit that nail right. Apart from if I who says, look, parents should hold on, to, the right principles, but also give way to changing times. Right? You need to balance the two. Beko. Yeah, somebody just said, yes, it is not Bello, Beko. Thank you very much. Beko Ransom Kuti. And yes, it was the former Minister of Health. What a wonderful family. And what a wonderful audience I have. You listeners are absolutely amazing. Can't do this without you. Absolutely. Every single day I keep saying it. I leave here and I know, I probably know something just a little better today. Wale from NT, Beko Ransom Kuti, not Bello. Thank you very much, Wale, for helping me with that correction. So yes, the name I was referring to was Dr. Beko Ransom Kuti. Once again, from the Kuti family. But anyway, let's move on. 017-923-0002, 0817923-0003. All right, at Nigeriainfo PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. Let's quickly refresh that and see if we have any comments on Facebook at Nigeriainfo PH, at Nigeriainfo PH. So this morning I'm asking, okay, would you challenge your parents' view or vision for you. That's what somebody was saying. Okay, so now we know these things. How do I tell my dad? How do I tell my mom that this thing that they want for me is not what I want for myself? 92.3, good morning. Hello, Port Harcourt.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, please.
Yes, you are talking of Decor and from Kuti.
Yes. I've gotten the name, yes.
And now look at that family. After Decor and from Kuti, different people, if you want to call the Kuti family, you remember Fela. It's Fela that is the kind of the face of the family. And now, like some parents, where they do things, their decision is final. Some of the decision in Nigeria, yes, some of them, I think David, if I'm not mistaken, what the parents wanting to study, I think he did from that, if I'm not mistaken.
Obviously, he's not doing what his father wanted.
So now, like me, my son, say he want to study law. I was thinking of discouraging him because of the way our judiciary behave in Nigeria. But they don't stop again. Yes, dude, because the way they are behaving, the upcoming ones, what they are saying. And I know, maybe look at it as, okay, maybe in law they have different fields. They have the environmental law, different people. Some players is just based on environmental matter. And some they have marine law. So I was thinking, well, so they have different field in it. Maybe we choose this other one than going to this political side. And the grammar seller said we interpret the law for you. Because the profession, they make it to look like mocking you. Some parents even want their children to read law because of
what's happening here.
When people like the Grand Douglas, they are there, that they will stand on their ground, and the military government will not do them anything. But now, just throw knock out around their house areas. They come and give a statement that you will be very angry as a lawyer to give such statement. So it's good for parents to allow their children to read. Like I have a friend in Bauchi State in those days. The parents wanted to read social things. And he wants social things. So what the guy did is, the guy obeyed the parents. In Bauchi State, they have Federal Police Bauchi and ATBU. Just from, let me say, from Obliquere to before Uniport.
Okay.
That's the distance. Now the boy studied in Federal Police Bauchi and studied in ATBU the same time.
Wow.
Yes. The same. He's living in Balameji in Bauchi. Now when he have lecture in ATBU, you just take 15 naira drop to ATBU and study there and come back and estate management in the Polytechnic. Yeah, so the guy.
How is he paying the fees?
Now the fee matter now. So they're sending from the west to come and school in the north. If you tell them that this is how they'll give him what they want him to read what they want.
I see.
So he's not going. Sometimes he said, "I'm not coming for holiday." So they will send him money. He will now use his head because it's not his food that he's eating. It's one food that he's eating now. It's not that maybe he's going to this and eating the ATBU. So the guy managed himself and graduate with two
degrees
at the same time.
Yeah. Wow.
Unknown to the parents. But it's not good for you to force your son. Like some of our politicians now want their sons to be politicians. That is not their call. Allow them. Don't go and put them in a place that they will regret their life. Some of them will bend you that you must study this. How dare you? You can't listen to who will pay your school fees. Who is taking care of you? It's not done that way. Let us allow these people to face their own vision. Some of them, they are pastors. They cannot excel in this field. Allow them to do what is good for them to do. Just ask them. Give them parental advice. Don't use military ways to them. You are studying, maybe you study another this in university. Now you are a journalist. And you are finding joy in what you are doing. You are not regretting it. But some people till they will regret what their parents asked them to go and study.
All right.
They don't know about medicine.
All right, so thank you very much. Let me get to another caller and also read some more messages here. Okay. Say hi, Jude. Doing a great job. Professor Olikoye Ransom Kuti was a former Minister of Health, while Beko was a medical doctor and human rights activist, but not the former Minister of Health. Yemi, thank you very much for that clarification. This is how we get to, once again, share proper information. Let me just quickly Google that, all right, and get my facts right so that everybody gets to go home with the right information this morning. Thank you once again, Yemi Osheni. I don't know if Yemi is the Yemi is obviously Yoruba, but Yemi, thank you very much. Says Professor Olikoye Ransom Kuti, right? Some other Ransom Kuti. There are lots of Ransom Kuti, by the way. Kutis. He was the former Minister of Health, while Beko Kuti was a medical doctor and a human rights activist, but not the former Minister of Health. Thank you very much for that. All right, so let me get that information. Beko Ransom. How many of you have noticed that the Kutis are very handsome-looking men? Dr. Beko Larry Ransom Kuti, Nigerian physician known for his work as a human rights activist. All right. And he died February 10th at the age of 65 in 2006. Thank you, Yemi. Thank you for that. Thank you for that clarification. Very much needed, and I'm very appreciative for that. So Olikoye Ransom Kuti was the former Minister of Health, while Beko Ransom Kuti was a medical doctor. He was also a human rights activist. All right. Thank you very much. All right. So now let's quickly wrap up now and get to do our one play draw this morning. Now, if you're listening to us as a parent or as a child whose parents have said you should do this, you should do that, yes, we love to defer to our parents, we love to listen to them, but largely they tend to give us good advice. But when it comes to certain life altering choices, take advice, but also express yourself. I think that's what I'm taking from these lessons, from this conversation. They want you to do engineering. Fine, it's not a bad idea, but also tell them, but this is how I feel about this. This is how I respond. And look at my results. I may be good here, but there's a natural call. Why don't we try this, for instance, and see where this takes me? That way we reduce a lot of the friction. Amazing stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. My name is Jude. Time for us to check out a 25,000 naira check this morning.
Nigeriainfo. Information is a source of development.